This is Hayden from SHC TV, and today I'm very lucky to be joined over Zoom once again by Darren Tetley ahead of his fight this Saturday. Live on Sky Sports, we'll be taking on Steve Mckenna at York Hall in London. So yeah, Darren, how have you been since we last spoke, mate?
Yeah, really good, mate. It's been a while, hasn't it?
Yeah, I think we last spoke in January when I was just starting out, and now, I've been doing it like 9, 10 months. Yeah, how have you been?
Really good, yeah, really good. Be glad to get back in there and hopefully put on a show.
Yeah, because I think last time we spoke, you were recovering from a hand injury from your fight back in, I think against Dom Hunt last September, and then you got back out in June, I'm pretty sure. So how was that fighting in June?
Yeah, obviously, I had the hand injury, and then I think at the time we spoke, I didn't know obviously what the actual problem was. I was just going through tests and stuff, and then got the all clear, and then got the fight with Jake James for an eliminator, and then so I was buzzing for that. And then obviously the week before, he pulled out and, managed to still get in there for a 4 rounder, but obviously not the fight I wanted to come back with. But it was good to get, a nice steady 4 rounds in. Obviously been out of the ring for a long time at that point.
Yeah, so obviously onto your fight now with Steve McKenna this Saturday. How did that come about, and how long have you known about it for?
Last Monday night, I was laid in bed, 9:59 p.m. it was. And I just got a text message off my manager asking, they've been on about for Stephen McKenna next week, obviously meaning this Saturday, and if I'm interested. So, I just, rung him up and pretty much said yeah within, well, straight away. I mean, they didn't really need much thinking about it. It was obviously there's details behind the scenes that get sorted out, you know what I mean? But the fight itself, it was a yes for me straight away.
So obviously with you being out for a wee bit and then coming back and fighting in June, and you're right back into the deep end against a very tough opponent in Steve McKenna. What do you see in him? What sort of threat do you see in him, or do you not really see that much of a threat in him?
No, I think I'd be talking absolute nonsense, wouldn't I? If I said there was no threat there. Um, you know, 13-0 with 12 stoppages is definitely a threat. But I've seen stuff which I'm sure other people have seen stuff. Other people in the division what they can try and exploit. And I'm under no illusion when you get in there, it's a bit different. It's all right watching someone on film, and then you get in there and they're always better than what you anticipate anyways. But we've definitely seen, me and my trainers seen weaknesses and seen stuff that I think I can take advantage of, and that I fully believe I'll take advantage of as well.
Okay, so obviously you said you just found out about this last Monday. Were you already in training, or have you just got into training now?
No, so yeah, so we was in the gym. We just got the we had the Danny Ball fight for the English title, which is going to be, hopefully it was going to be in, hopefully still is, sometime in November. So we was in the gym, and we was obviously waiting for the dates and stuff like that, but we was told October, November for that. And then I've been sparring like Reese. I've been doing a bit of sparring with Reese Mould, who's fighting a tall southpaw. So, I've been in the gym and obviously not preparing for Stephen McKenna, but he's not been in the gym preparing for me either. So, it's kind of. I don't know if he's. I think he's been added to the show last minute himself as well. So,
Yeah, so how do you plan to get the job done on Saturday night? Because obviously a very tough opponent in Steve McKenna. How do you see yourself getting the job done?
yeah, he's a handful, isn't he? Or he certainly appears to be an handful, and his record suggests he's a handful, but. On on an interview, but we've definitely seen stuff that we can use against him, and he's very aggressive, and he's very. Sometimes it looks like he's not very calculated with the aggression either. He just wants to hit you and take your head off. So my plan is obviously going to be to try use that against him.
What do you think a win would mean to you and your career going forward, beating a tough opponent in Steve McKenna?
It'd be big, wouldn't it? He's at the he's obviously getting hyped up a lot, calling for your Marcus and your Conor Benns, and yeah, I think he's even called for Liam Williams. So he's obviously hyped up a bit, and it just gets me straight back in there, ready for big fights and stuff like that. And I understand I've got I've got a tough opponent ahead of me and then a tough fight, and it's last minute, but obviously not aimed at you, but it's all right saying I have a tough opponent, but he's got a tough opponent as well. And this isn't aimed at you, but I think people that just presume I've got a tough fight, it's a bit disrespectful, because he's also got a tough fight. All right, yeah, I got stopped by Samuel Antwi, but you look at the shots I took in that fight, and you look at his last fight against Mason Cartwright. The last punch Antwi threw at me was a massive right hand, and it couldn't have landed any flusher. And I just stood there. You know, and Esserman, I took shots in Esserman. I went 12 hard rounds. The Dom Hunt fight wasn't televised, but you ask anyone that was at that fight and ask them what that was like. It was an all-out war. So I'm under no illusion that I have an hard fight on Saturday. But I'm just wondering with people's opinions and what people are saying. Does he understand he has a hard fight? I don't think he does. I think he just thinks he just has to get in there and he'll blow me away. But I've never been blown away. So
If you do get the win on Saturday, where do you think you want to go from there?
we'll just say hopefully the English title in November. Which is obviously kind of already there's a deal already kind of agreed for that. So but obviously if something bigger comes or something like that, then obviously I'll take it. And I think obviously me taking this fight, I think if I took this fight on 6 weeks' notice, it'd show people that I'm not afraid to take hard fights, let alone taking it on a week and a half notice. Nobody can say I want easy fights or I'll duck people and avoid people. I'm not that type of fighter, and I'm willing to get in there with anyone.
Yeah, no, 100%, mate. So, do you know where you are on the card? At what time we can expect to see your ring walk?
No, that's obviously I'm waiting to find out myself. I've got a few people asking me, and I'm wondering. Boxer's not really speaking much about it, so I don't know whether it'll be on the YouTube section or if it's not going to be televised. But I think, looking at the fight and even from a fan point of view, I think you'd like to say the fight definitely deserves to be on telly. Like,
Yeah, 100%, man. I look forward to seeing you fight on Saturday, and I wish you the best of luck. And I hope we can do it sometime down the line, maybe when you're fighting for that English title in November. So, yeah, thank you so much for your time, mate. I really do appreciate it. And yeah, all the best for your fight.
no problem, mate. Thank you for that.